Well, they play a key role in our food supply each day. This time of year, you will see farmers on the road and in the fields harvesting corn and beans.
It's important to remember we all need to share the road. And joining us with more from the Champaign County Farm Bureau, we have manager Brad. Brad, guess what? We know where you can go on Wednesdays in October, early in the morning.
Get some
tractor, get some breakfast there in Sydney. So we need to be mindful of those tractors who may be making a little pit stop in town.
That's
Now's
right.
the time.
That's right. That's right.
So is now the time we're going to start seeing tractors?
Right. I think, we've started to see a little bit of harvest get started here in the past week or so. And I think as we get closer to the weekend and into next week, you'll really start to see a lot more activity in the field. We're just getting the weather that's cooperating, and the crops are starting to dry down really nice.
What do people need to keep in mind when they're on the road and say they see a tractor in front of them?
Well, I think the biggest thing is how slow they are going in comparison to you. I mean, when you have somebody using an SMV symbol, which is the orange triangle, those vehicles are only moving about 20, 25 miles an hour. So when you're going 55, you're going to catch up to them very quickly. And so I think that's the biggest thing, is just how slow they are moving.
Let's talk about the weather, like you were mentioning, because, I mean, our forecast had all sunshines on it for this week. So this is probably ideal time, yes? Well,
I think so. Again, we got started with the planting a little bit late this year because we had a lot of moisture in the springtime, and so harvest has been delayed. A lot of times we would have started around the middle of September. Instead, it's going to be around October 1st for most folks. And so, yeah, it's time to be out there. It's time to get the crop out. Again, we're talking about drying that corn down, drying the soybeans down, and getting that kernel to a moisture level that's suitable for harvest. And so,
okay, can you back up just a second? Drying it out,
right?
Like
so
before you harvest it, or
right. So we're not talking about like drying it out, putting it in a dryer, or like sweet corn. You want to eat it while it's still green and it's very juicy. Corn and soybeans, you want that kernel to be very dry. In other words, not like shriveled up per se, like a raisin, but there is moisture in that corn and soybean kernel that you want to have that moisture down, because otherwise it's kind of mushy. Again, think of your sweet corn that you may eat. If you tried to harvest that with a machine, you would just destroy the kernels. There would be nothing left. It would be a bunch of mush. Where, if the kernel dries, it gets harder, and then that's how you can harvest it with a combine, and then haul it and then store it. Now, if we don't get it dry enough in the field, via Mother Nature, sun, wind, etc. You can also dry it using dryers, not like your blow dryer or your clothes dryer, but the concept is the same of putting heat on it, and then you can dry it in the bin that elevators may store.
Okay. So if the timeline is starting kind of now to get out there, how long can we expect that people are going to be working on this till seeing those tractors?
Well, I mean, tell me what the weather's going to be. Ask Jacob Dickey what we're going to do with the weather. I mean, if we continue with some good weather like this, where we're not seeing rain days and where we get half an inch or an inch of rain at a time, harvest could keep moving fairly quickly. But if we all know that once we get into October, the weather gets a little more unpredictable, and we'll deal with it as it comes. But the more dry, sunny days we have, the better.
Yeah, absolutely. We were just looking in there at the screen of some great tips for you to follow when traveling close or nearby some tractors and other farm equipment. So things to definitely be mindful of. And we wish you a safe and healthy harvest season.
Thank you.
You're welcome. If you want to learn more, maybe you want to revisit some of those tips to share with your friends or family who may have younger drivers who may not know exactly the rules of the road when it comes to driving with combines and such, we'll connect you over on our Facebook page.